Boy, welcome back to Talks with Damanhur. Tonight we have another very interesting guest, Coyote Cardo. Welcome.
Con voi.
Con te. The topic, of course, is very interesting because we will talk about the sky and a possible source of human being from other galaxies, or life outside planet Earth. First of all, we have to remember together that in many traditions, in many different civilizations, in many aspects, also in many books of our of many people all around the world, is very well described a sort of interconnection between the sky, galaxies, other planets, and the evolution of human being. For example, in the Vedas, the Veda tradition, they describe very clearly also a certain number of planets and certain number of different species all around the universe. For example, in the Bible, we can also read about a specific point or specific stars, specific galaxies, like sources of possible arrivals. Okay? And talking about today, the present day, we have, for example, this very interesting documentary in Netflix from Brian Hancock about the ancient apocalypse that talk about also many moments in the history of humankind, the history of this planet, where everything was destroyed, changed, with a new start, with a new restart of the human civilization. So tonight we are floating between all these aspects with you. You are an expert. But maybe, first of all, let's talk a little bit about you, Coyote.
Okay.
You arrived in Damanhur many years ago.
Yes, in 94.
94, okay. And so 1994. And you also started to teach very fast.
Yes, because I was immediately touched from the spiritual physics from Falco, and also if I was...
We were studying together.
Yes,
spiritual physics.
We were for many years in the same group, theoretical group. And I was very interested in this topic. And after 2 years, Falco invited me to start to teach for our university, for the people following Damanhur and so on. And I started to teach, and I continue to study and to go deeper and deeper in this field of the spiritual physics. That is a very generic topic, but also in this big topic there are also this story of the ancient civilization, because it's related to the origin of the human soul. That it is one of the basic topic, maybe is the first topic in the spiritual physics.
Yes.
And then also this part is very interesting about the origin of the human civilization from extraterrestrial intelligence civilization and so on.
Yeah. I remember a specific moment, and I know you remember very well that moment where Falco started a new course, a new classes. One night, do you remember? He arrived I don't remember exactly the year, but he started specifically to talk about history, ancient history of humankind, before the flood, before the last glaciation.
Yes,
you remember?
Yes, it was 1996.
96.
Yes, I remember that Falco, before I was still not in Damanhur, but in the 80s, he started to talk about this topic.
Maybe.
Yes, in a more generic way. And in 96, also because many of us we were requesting this topic during the meeting with Falco. And at a certain point, he decided to do a specific, to go deeper in this topic for a specific time. And I remember that for all 96 and maybe also 97, the Wednesday meeting with Falco, they were dedicated to this topic, civilization from other planets, the story, and yes, all this big topic, and talking in specific about Atlantis, because you know, as Damanhurian, we are more related to Atlantis, but also talking about many other things and civilization.
Because actually the story began before Atlantis.
Yes.
And maybe this is more related with the topic of tonight, because also Atlantis, from a specific point of view, was the result of arrivals.
Yes.
Correct. I remember a very big map where Falco was pointing different places of the world related with arrivals.
Yes, Atlantis was founded maybe in the last colonization of this stellar empire to the Earth, because there was, if I remember correctly, 5 different colonies in the time. And but in the first 4 colonization, they were not interested to stay on the Earth continually. They only went to take from the Earth some, for example, for gold or other substances that they needed.
And to occupy space-time.
Yes, and to occupy some space for some time. And we called this as time empire. And in the last colonization, probably for some also politic vision, new politic vision, they decided to move the capital of the stellar empire on the Earth, also because they find out that the Earth was a precious point of contact with the synchronic line.
Yeah, because it's covered by many.
Yes, probably in the first time there was not a so big knowledge about the synchronic line, and the Earth, it was not so interested. In the last time, probably this idea changed, and suddenly the Earth became a very interesting point, and then they decided to move also the capital of the stellar empire on the Earth, and this was Atlantis.
Yeah.
According to the vision of Falco. We know that there are also different visions about the story, but not so different. But in our story, the center of this discussion is Atlantis, also because it's more related to the Damanhurian work and mission.
We are talking about a period around 2 million of years, correct?
Yes, the beginning of the story is around 2 million. The foundation of Atlantis, we talk about in the last 100,000 years. Atlantis had a duration maybe 40,000 years until 15,000, 13,000. We have not a precise moment of about the end of Atlantis. Starting 40,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But the beginning of this story is 2 million. 2 million, and in this era, we had already in our galaxy different civilization, and they were many of these civilizations, they were in a very high level of evolution and technology. They were able to move in the galaxy from a planet to other, also very far. And of course, they had the technology to do this, but they had also a high level of evolution. For example, we know from some of the book of Falco, for example, Amscusat, we know how it was the daily life in this civilization. And for them, it was absolutely normal to do something that for us is science fiction.
Incredible, yeah.
Yes.
Like moving with sort of transportation,
Yes,
teletransportation.
yes.
So.
Teletransportation to travel under the water and in a bubble of energy, and also without gravity and many other things. And also there is a description of a very big starship, and there is also the story of a specific starship that is famous in Damanhur called Arielvo. And in this book there is a specific description of this starship, telling that the visitors, they need 1 week to visit all the area of this big starship to have an idea
how big
yes,
it was. Yeah.
And this civilization, they were absolutely high level, and they occupied a big area in our galaxy, and they also they were expanding themselves, and also following a kind of politics that is not so different of the present idea in Damanhur. Now we have not the technology to go in the space, but the idea of the divinization of matter that we have is the same idea that this ancient civilization they had. That this was the reason why they were expanding in the space and and also in the time, because they had also time technology. And the reason why they were expanding, it was to get in their context, in their area, all the other being, because they were part of the same soul. And this is the same concept that that Falco teaches us in Damanhur, that the human soul is not only on the earth, it's not only related to the human body, but is related to all the life in the universe. Then also if we go, for example, in another planet, we can have different being, different bodies, but the soul is the human soul. And this was the idea also of this ancient civilization.
So we are not talking about what, but you are now touching a very important aspect. So why this planet was or is also today interesting for other civilization, other intelligences, and also about a sort of a policy, like a sort of ancient religion focused on the idea to divinize the matter. Can you talk a little bit more about this aspect, because I think it's very important. What means to divinize the matter?
Yes, we can talk in a very short time about the myth of the mirror. That is the basic story related to the meaning of the divinization of matter. According to this myth, in a very synthetic way, the origin of the human soul is a kind of consciousness that we call primeval divinity of humankind. This consciousness didn't born in matter. Its origin is in outside, okay, and at one point
outside the material world.
yes, outside of the space, outside of the time. And at one point, for some reason, this consciousness decided to enter in matter. And entering the matter, there was a division of the consciousness in order to explore the whole universe. Like imagine that this creature was divided in order to occupy the all possible places in matter, in order to have experience of all the things that can happen in the universe. And in a very synthetic way, this story tells us that the primeval divinity of humankind, that is the origin of the human soul, had the goal to conquer the matter. But to conquer the matter, first need to explore, to understand how the material world is working, then to understand the laws, and at the end to put again all the pieces together and creating again the consciousness unified of the
unity.
Yes, and this is the divinization of matter.
So in a nutshell, human being was a divine force, complete, coherent, unique divine force, in a certain moment chosen to enter into the material world. And because of this entering into the material world, started to be completely divided in many pieces.
Yes.
And that pieces, they are trying to recombine all together this unity, but inside, correct?
Inside the matter.
Inside
yes,
the matter.
yes.
That's why to divinize the matter.
Yes.
So a matter, so a material world, but reawaked in some way.
Correct. And also, this is also difficult because in the division, we lost the memory.
Yes.
Then first we have to reawake the memory of our origin, and this is a part of knowledge. This is the esoteric tradition, esoteric knowledge. And after that, it is possible to start the work to reunify again all the pieces and to get in this way the divinization of matter. That is what exactly to say.
And here I think there is another interesting point that connects us to the main topic, so that source from the stars, because of course entering into the material world also on planet Earth means to forget, to completely forget the ancestral heritage, the ancestral memory about to be a god. In all the different civilizations all around the planet, in all the different myths, in all the different traditions, every people talks about, they have myths that describe the arrival of masters from the stars, sort of helpers that they can help us to reawake our memories. Can you talk a little bit more about the masters?
Yes, this is a complex topic, and probably we can have also different vision about this kind of information. But we can say that in this story that is very, very long, because we call about 30 million years. This is the time when the primeval divinity of humankind entered into the material world.
To be precise, not only on planet Earth, but all around the universe.
In the universe, yes. And then we have a very long time, and we can imagine that in this time so long, in some places, some being could have the possibility to reawake completely and to have again the divine consciousness, and that means to be perfectly like the primeval divinity of humankind before entering in matter. But because now we are in matter, if some being get this level, for us it is like a divinity, like a god. And probably these stellar masters are being that probably they had this kind of path, and it was probably possible for them to get this level of consciousness. Or there is also a possibility that in the beginning, when the primeval divinity of humankind divided in many pieces, maybe that a part of these pieces, for a part of this piece, it was possible to keep part of the memory, like imagine that we have small pieces and other pieces more big. Then it is also possible that, for example, some big piece of the primeval divinity of humankind had the possibility to keep more memory. Anyway, it is not important. What is important that these stellar master, they were really existing, and they moved into all this system that we call the stellar empire. That was this area where this big civilization war diffuses in our galaxy, and these masters, they had the function to teach some specific knowledge in order to give the possibility for some planet, some civilization to grow. And for example, in our planet, it happened in this way, also in different moment of time. And all this story, for example, about the civilization that you were talking, for example, on the Bible, on the story of the Anunnaki related to the Sumerian civilization, or the other civilization that we can find in the Veda books and so on, they can be related to this topic. This civilization, they were also teaching to the Earth civilization different technology, different yes, they gave to the humankind many information that gave us the possibility to grow a lot.
Yes.
Yes, we have also some story about engineering manipulation of DNA to get the evolution faster. And then in different occasions, probably we had also this manipulation to help us in the path of the evolution. Not only because this is a very complex story, that we had some of these experiments with the goal of helping us to grow. But in other occasion, with other manipulation, they stop some of our possibility.
They try to block
Yes.
our evolution. Yeah, this is a topic that I really want to touch, but before I want to point out something about what you said about the masters, because looking at the different stories of the different myths, we can find the same characters, the same people in different civilizations, like Quetzalcoatl or Osiris or Thoth. They bring always the same stuff. They come from the same origin, but they have only different names or different description. But this is something that can be shared, that is shared from many different myths of the creation of the planet. For example, it's very interesting how this aspect to someone that bring to you information and knowledge also can be connected with civilization that they started to be at the peak of the evolution in a very fast, very rapidly, like, for example, the Sumerian or the Egyptians and so on. Yeah. There is also a question from Marco. Marco is coming to the question about why this planet Earth is so interesting for extraterrestrial civilizations.
There are probably...
I think it's a very big topic.
Yes. There are probably many reasons. And Falco was telling us in different occasions about the importance of the Earth. For example, the topic of the synchronic line is probably one of the main, because the synchronic line, they are imaging like the nervous system of the universe. This is the system that the universe use to diffuse the life in all the space. Through the synchronic line, is possible, for example, to find other world with life, and through the synchronic line, we can also trip when we are out of our body, when we are only souls.
We can travel.
We can travel through the synchronic line, like they were some
like
kind
highways.
Like highways, yes.
So the synchronic lines are the highways of the galaxies.
Yes, highways for souls. Because this is the reason why, for example, we can have other life in other planet, and or from other planet to move to the Earth. We cannot move in the space, in the empty space. As soul, we can only move into the synchronic line, and these are made for this. And the synchronic line
is a very bad news for the people. So if you were busy searching for past lives on planet Earth, you have to take in account that there are also many past lives and other lives in other worlds.
Yes, this is the second level of past life.
Third, fourth.
Yes. Anyway, the synchronic line, they are very, very important. And because in different planets there are different net connected to the synchronic line.
A different network of synchronic lines.
Yes, and according to the power of the network, a planet can be more or less interesting. For example, we know that on our planet Earth, we have 18 main synchronic lines. According to the teaching of Falco, in many other planets, the common number of synchronic line is 5, 6. Yes. Then it means that the Earth is in a very special higher level of network, of possibility of connection with this universal network.
That means production of life, consciousness.
Yes, it means that the life in our planet has a particular meaning, and it means also that through this planet it is possible to connect with many other points more easily. Probably also it's more easy to trip, to move in other planets, in other also places very far in our galaxy. And then probably when this civilization arrived at the conclusion that the Earth was in this level of possibility, the Earth became absolutely interesting. And then in this occasion, probably many of these civilizations arrived on the Earth to take some piece of land and to have the possibility to use the terrestrial network. And also we know from the teaching of Falco that close to the planet Earth we have also some kind of we can call like Stargate. They are not in specific on the planet, but they are very close. And
in the solar system.
Yes, in our solar system. And probably the Earth is the main planet because of the synchronic line, because also these Stargate are related to the synchronic line. And probably to have the control of this gate, the position of our planet is probably the more
interesting.
Yes, more useful also to use.
So a sort of strategic position.
And another reason, this very magical topic, because in the middle of the Earth, at the center of the Earth, there is another kind of Stargate, a third level of Stargate, but is a kind of door very special. It's not possible for humankind to use, but at least at this level, maybe in higher level, it will be possible. But we know that this kind of door is used by the force that we call Grail to move in the universe. And then the Grail, that according to the teaching of Falco is a kind of force, is a very high level of force. Is probably the highest level of consciousness that mankind can contact.
Yeah. So we are talking about a meaning about the Grail that is not specifically connected with a cup, with an object, but the force of the Grail. So the Grail itself, and not the object or the element to connect with the Grail.
Exactly. This is a very also is another big topic, and the magical vision of the Grail is not like a physical object, but is a kind of consciousness, very big, very high, like a superior level compared to the gods.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we can say only two more words about the Grail. In a nutshell, we can say that for Damanhur, the Grail is a force, very strong force, that during the history of humankind, according to different ages, were connected with a different object about the Grail. So a cup was in the last 2,000 years, before it was a stick, before it was another object. And the objects are only ways to connect human being to the Grail.
Yes.
And now we are facing a transformation of the shape of the Grail with a new element that maybe can be a topic of another conference.
Yes. And yes, then we can we can think at least about these three reasons to have an idea why the Earth is so important for the synchronic lines, for the Stargate, and for the position, because the Grail also used this door. Then the presence of the Grail is another thing that, yes, for this reason, the Earth is very important.
Of course, maybe looking at the history, for example, talking about Atlantis, we know that it's not only that the arrivals create the stories of humankind, but also from a specific moment in Atlantis, they started to move to the galaxy. Is it correct?
In Damanhur, we have also about this different vision, because in the first vision that Falco gave us, Atlantis, it was first a civilization in another planet. And at this time, Atlantis was the capital of the stellar empire, not on the Earth, but in another planet. Falco didn't explain more specifically which was this
Very
planet.
much, yeah.
But we can have some idea. Anyway, at one point, they decided to move on the Earth and starting to create this colony.
2 million years ago.
Yes, not 2 million. Yes, at the beginning, but only to take from the Earth some minerals or some other things. In the second time, they moved to the Earth to create a permanent colony, and this became Atlantis on the Earth around 40,000, 50,000 years ago. And at the beginning, it was still not so important, but growing and growing, this civilization at one point became the new capital of the stellar empire. And
we became important.
Yes, the
and
Earth,
more visible.
Yes, in that time, the Earth, it was the center of this, not the physical center, but it was the center because it was the planet with it was the capital of the stellar empire.
And we start to have troubles.
Yes, because this is the same condition that we have on the Earth now to the different countries that they are in war. Because what happened? Why Atlantis was destroyed? Who destroyed Atlantis? Because in a more simple way, we can call about enemy forces that they really exist. And in our galaxy, we have the human civilization expanding and occupying a big part of the galaxy, but we have also other civilization with a completely different vision of the life of the material world. And we know that in specific one of this civilization we call the enemy, because it is totally in opposition to the...
It's a competitor.
Yes. And for sure, these enemy forces has a kind of responsibility in the end of Atlantis. But if we look simply to what happened, it was the same planet where the first colony started to move to the Earth that after destroyed Atlantis, because they didn't agree that the Earth became the center.
Was more powerful.
Yes.
Was powerful.
But the story is really complex, and then we think it's very close to the movie Star Wars, what happened. We think that the enemy was able to enter in the political system, in the government, we can imagine, of the human...
the stellar empire.
Yes. And they were able to convince this planet that we don't know in specific, which is to fight against the Earth and to destroy Atlantis. Then officially is the same, is like a civil war. The same founder of Atlantis, after a long time, destroyed it, Atlantis. This is what officially happens, but it is very probably something caused by the enemy. But this is another story.
A sort of virus
Yes.
that create this idea of division instead of connection between different species and yeah.
Yes, but after this was the first
And maybe
approach.
that's why from a specific moment on planet Earth grow a lot the idea that everyone that comes from the star, it's dangerous.
Why everyone? I didn't understand, sorry.
È per quello che da un certo momento in poi si pensa che chiunque arrivi dallo spazio è pericoloso.
Ah, okay, in this way.
Dangerous,
Yes, probably is.
It's a memories of the ancestors.
Yes, like a trauma from the past.
Yeah, from the past.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interesting, very interesting. And so today we are facing on planet Earth many challenges, of course, because we have wars, we have pandemics, we have many problems, many dangerous diseases. So human being is again and again trying to survive, and today it's trying to survive to themselves. In the last period, in the last few years, also many governments started to explain, to publish, to talk clearly about the connection with other species, with the aliens. What do you think about a probable arrival from the space? So why they are? I know the answer. Falco was again and again repeating to the Damanhurians why aliens they are not coming officially. Why? Until a specific jump. Well, can you talk a little bit more about that problem?
Yes, the vision of Falco was that the Earth is still
in trouble.
Yes, we have not the level to get in contact with the civilization in an higher level.
Because we are still trying to destroy human beings.
And also, this is also related to the war with the enemy. According to the vision of Falco, there is a kind of galactic politics that it works in this way. When a planet is able to get free of the enemy forces, can be in contact with all the other
and can receive support.
Can receive support also.
Yeah.
And we are still in a time that it is not possible to have a direct contact, but the help that we can have is like the masters. Then this civilization cannot show directly with their starship, but they can send us souls with the higher level of consciousness, and obviously these souls in our planet, they become masters. And the story of Falco is a story like this. But I think that in the present time, we are very close to this meeting. I think we are very close. And also, I think also, this is my personal vision, that now we have some power in our planet that it is still trying to avoid this contact, because probably they have fear that humankind getting in contact with higher civilization change the vision of the world in a so big way that is not possible for the big powers that now probably can use humankind like a kind of slave. Yes. And probably this kind of story, it will be not possible anymore if we get in contact with alien civilization, because we can probably see that this civilization, for example, they have kind of energy that is possible to use in a free way, for example, and it's very simple to understand what I'm saying. And probably the present system of the government in all the planets, they don't want that we meet other civilization. But my perception of the present time is that because this meeting is arriving, they cannot change this, and then they are slowly releasing some information about this next meeting that, in my vision, is very close.
And of course, a big change of the civilization today about energy, free energy, and so on, will completely change also the economy. So there are many conservative government or people groups that they are afraid about this change, because it means that they are not anymore the owner.
Yes,
of
they cannot control anymore the energy on the earth. Imagine if we have the possibility to use the free energy that one civilization teach us how to use.
Or the control of gravity and so on.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's of course a topic that it's connected, touched many aspects. Also the religions. Religions are afraid because many religions, not many, actually not many. The last important monotheistic religion, the three monotheistic religion, they focused everything about this planet, this human being. But we can also see other religions, for example, coming back always to the Indian tradition, they are very open to many divine forces, many galaxies, many spirits.
Yes, probably their origin, they have already their origin, this myth from extraterrestrial civilization.
There's something very funny. Remember an advertisement of in India of the 70s of the last century. It was an idea of an airline that was, of course, it was promoting to buy ticket on these airlines and saying, don't worry, because we fly all around the universe for thousands and thousands of years. Yes, of course, yeah. Damanhur actually is very well connected with this story, and also with this sort of big amnesia that we have about to completely forgot the story. Is important also to remember our story, to remember the source of our soul is important in order to continue the project. We call this project the Vine Project, correct? Can you see something more about this need to remember the story? So how we can remember? You are a researcher, so you are also very busy about researches, for example, the 163 elements. So aspect of human being that we forgot, important in order to recollect and recover the complete story.
Yes, but the story is very simple, because our soul has a divine nature. We are not able to use only in a very little percentage of our power, but most of this power we are not able to use only because we forgot our nature, our origin, and our story. For example, you know that still today the official story that we study at school is that the first civilization on our planet are
Sumerians.
Yes, Sumerian. Around 5,000-6,000 years ago, but we know that the story is completely different. But because most of the humankind believes that we are now, for example, in the maximum level of evolution, and that we started only 5,000 years ago, because of this, because millions of people, they are thinking in this way, it's like we create our prison. Then the way to get out of this prison is to remember, to reawake our real story, our real power. And for example, studying the story of Atlantis and the other also previous civilization, we can have an idea about what is our divine nature. When we were talking before about, for example, the science fiction life of daily life of this civilization using some kind of devices, very high level of technology, but not only technology. This is, for example, a simple idea of what is our divine nature. But if we talk more in a spiritual way, for example, we are able perfectly to talk with animals or with plants, for example. And this could be our nature. But at the moment, what happened is that normally humankind don't talk with trees, plants, and animals. And this is a very big limit. Because, for example, if we are really in contact from the world of plants, for example, in my vision, we don't need any kind of medicine or drugs, because all the medicine that we are now using, they come from the plants. And if we are in contact completely, we can have directly this kind of exchange, and we don't need drugs. Then, in my opinion, when we lost the connection with the world of plants, we started to need to cure, to need
to heal.
Yes, to heal. And also, talking with the animal, we can have a more complete idea of also of our body can works, because also in the teaching of Falco, many of the knowledge of the humankind are now stored in the animals.
The animals and plants.
Yes. Then, if we are able to get in contact, we can have back this information.
So, in a nutshell, if you want to remember and go beyond the amnesia, we need to extend our consciousness and reconquer our interconnection with plants and animals to remember.
Yes, this is one important way. And also we have also to reconnect with the time, for example, because our soul has a divine nature, and with this divine nature we can have we can explore the time in a very more complex way, related to our vision, our normal vision of today. And then also this kind of recognition with the time, it is also important, because we know, you also know very good by the spiritual physics, that we are our experience is normally divided in many different timelines, and we are like going in a crazy way through many different timelines, and getting also a lot of confusion in our life, in our continuity. And to have less confusion, we need to reconnect with the time, with our divine nature. then we need to study, also to research and to practice, because probably we have our inner senses that they have the function probably to give us the possibility to reconnect with the time, with the animal, with plants, and so on.
So in some way, we have a double two directions. In one way, we have to extend our consciousness, reconnecting with animal and plants. But in the other end, we also have to do inner research in order to reawaken our inner senses and to reconnect us with time. You specify that we are floating between many plans, so we are unstable, we are too light. And to coming back to the same timeline and staying to the same timeline can create a stronger connection with time. And this heaviness in time can help us to also to reawake. So we have to work outside and inside, both in the both the directions.
Yes.
That's
Correct.
the work of Damanhur.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Coyote. Thank you very much for all the information you gave us. We have to remember to the people that they like to subscribe to our community. Thank you very much for your questions, and see you next time. Okay, in 1 month.
Okay, Convoy, thank you for your presence.